Let me tell you something real quick. Life isn't fair. You know that, I know that. And the world, it won't wait for you. It won't slow down just because you're not ready. You can sit there waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the stars to align. But let me tell you, that moment, it rarely comes. The people who move forward, the ones who accomplish, they don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for permission. They make themselves show up. They make themselves put in the work day after day, even when their bodies are tired, even when their minds are screaming at them to quit. That's consistency. It's the small acts nobody sees, the quiet dedication, the extra hours spent learning, practicing, grinding, building. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's pushing through failure, embarrassment, rejection, and still standing up tomorrow and doing it again. That's the line that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The world rewards the person who keeps going when going is hard, the person who forces themselves to keep showing up even when nobody believes in them. That's where greatness is born. Consistency isn't sexy. It isn't glamorous. Nobody's going to put a highlight reel together for you showing you brushing your teeth every morning or studying that one extra hour while your friends are out having fun. Nobody is going to clap for the quiet moments, the moments where nobody is looking, the moments where you're just grinding because you know that's what it takes. But here's the truth. The people who make it, the people who achieve, the people who change their lives and the lives of others, they understand this. They understand that greatness isn't born in a single moment of brilliance. It's built brick by brick. Step by step, day after day, consistency is the brickwork. It's the foundation that no flashy moment can replace. Look at Michael Jordan. The man who's considered one of the greatest to ever play basketball didn't get there by luck. He didn't wake up one day and magically make 30 points in a game while the world cheered. No. Every day, after practice, after games, he stayed behind. He practiced shots over and over and over, and he failed. He missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He lost almost 300 games. 26 times he was trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. He failed repeatedly. And yet that is why he succeeded. That's the power of consistency. It's forcing yourself to show up when you don't feel like it. It's working when nobody notices. It's repeating the action day in and day out until failure doesn't have the power to stop you anymore. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. I've seen people with talent vanish into thin air because they refuse to put in the daily effort. I've seen ordinary people with average talent rise up and achieve extraordinary things because they were willing to keep showing up, to keep doing the work even when it hurt, even when it was inconvenient. There's no shortcut. There's no magic pill. It's the relentless dedication to something bigger than yourself. The secret isn't talent. The secret isn't luck. It's the decision to be consistent every single day. Think about your own life. Think about the small moments you skip because they seem insignificant. That extra hour of practice, that extra call to a client, that extra page of writing. That's the foundation. That's what builds the life you dream of. It won't be recognized immediately. It won't be applauded instantly. But it compounds, it grows. Over time, the small, consistent actions become results that are undeniable, unstoppable, extraordinary. If you want to rise above, if you want to leave your mark, it begins with one thing: consistency. Show up, do the work, fail, learn, get back up, and repeat every day. That's how you build greatness. That's how you take yourself from ordinary to unstoppable. That's how you write your story, not in a single headline, but in the quiet, relentless effort that nobody else sees. That's consistency. Here's the hard truth. You're not always going to feel like it. You're going to wake up tired. You're going to wake up burned out. You're going to wake up uninspired, wondering if it's even worth it. That's life. Nobody promised it would be easy. Nobody promised it would be fair. And waiting for motivation, waiting for the stars to align, that's a trap. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration is temporary. It's like chasing the wind. You can't wait for feelings to carry you forward. You have to move, even when you don't feel like it. You have to force yourself to act. Force yourself to do the work, to pick up the pen, to make the call, to step into the gym, even when your body screams no, because those moments, the ones where you don't want to do it, that's where the difference is made. That's where champions are built. That's where lives change. I remember a young man I once met, bright kid, full of dreams. He wanted to be a writer, but he kept telling me, I don't have time. I'm too busy. I don't know where to start. And I said to him, then create the time. Write 1 paragraph a day. Force yourself. He laughed at first like it was impossible. 1 paragraph, that's it. But I told him consistency beats inspiration. 1 paragraph a day, every day, and you'll be amazed what you can do. A year later, he had written a full manuscript, 1 paragraph a day, 1 small act, done consistently. That's the power of forcing yourself. That's how small, deliberate action compounds into something monumental. You see, action is the bridge between dreaming and achieving. Dreams without action are just fantasies. And the problem is, most people stop before they even begin because they're waiting for the perfect time or the perfect feeling. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect feeling. The world doesn't wait for you. You have to step in. You have to force yourself. Every successful person you look up to, every athlete, every artist, every entrepreneur, they've all had days when they didn't want to move, when every part of them screamed to quit, and yet they forced themselves. They acted. They showed up. That's why they won. That's why they achieved. It's uncomfortable. It's hard. And it's supposed to be. Because the moment you stop making excuses, the moment you pushed through fatigue, fear, and doubt, you start to see progress. That's where the magic happens. That's where you start becoming the person you're capable of being. Force yourself to act. 1 small step, 1 single decision, and then another. Because over time, those forced steps turn into momentum, and momentum turns into results. And those results, they change everything. Consistency isn't about big moves. It's not about 1 grand gesture, 1 massive decision that suddenly changes everything. That's not how life works. Life works in small, persistent steps. It works in the little choices you make every single day, the quiet decisions no one sees, the actions that seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, create unstoppable momentum. That's the compound effect. It's the principle that small, consistent effort, repeated over time, compounds into extraordinary results. It's planting a seed and watering it every day, not once a year. And then one day, without you even realizing it, that seed becomes a tree, strong, unshakable, and bearing fruit you never imagined. Look at Warren Buffett. He didn't start with millions. He started with a few $100s when he was a teenager. Small steps, small investments. And he repeated them over and over, decade after decade. He read, he learned, he invested consistently. Not because he was lucky, but because he understood the power of small, persistent action. Today, he's one of the richest people in the world. And every success story like his works the same way. It's never 1 moment of brilliance. It's the everyday grind, the unseen work, the habit of moving forward inch by inch. I've seen it in people's lives over and over. A young woman I knew wanted to run a marathon. At first, she could barely run a mile without stopping, but she ran a little each day, just a little. Some days more, some days less. She kept at it. 6 months later, she ran 13 miles. A year later, she ran the full marathon. 1 small step at a time. That's the compound effect. Every choice, every action stacks up. Every time you decide to do the work, even when you don't feel like it, you're building momentum. And momentum, my friends, is unstoppable. People underestimate this because they want instant results. They want overnight success. But life doesn't work that way. Every habit you build, every page you write, every call you make, every dollar you save, it adds up. You might not notice it today, you might not notice it tomorrow, but give it months, give it years, and suddenly the results are undeniable. And the beauty is this, the same principle works in reverse. Small negative actions repeated compound into failure. But if you choose the positive path, if you choose to act consistently every day, you can transform your life. So don't wait for big moments. Don't wait for perfect timing. Start with small steps. Do something every day that moves you forward. Write a paragraph, save a little money, make that call, take that class. Every small step compounds. And one day you'll look back and realize those little steps created a life bigger than you ever imagined. That's the compound effect. That's power. That's the way to greatness. Obstacles, they're going to come. That's life. Nobody gets through it without hitting a wall. You're going to fail. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to feel like giving up. And in those moments, the world will whisper in your ear, Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should quit. But that's exactly when you have to push the hardest. That's exactly when you have to force yourself to rise. You get up. You do it again. You do it even when it hurts. You do it even when it seems impossible. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. And progress, my friends, is the difference between giving up and greatness. Look at J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon, before anyone knew the name, she faced rejection 12 times. 12 publishers said no. 12 doors slammed in her face. Most people would have quit. Most people would have packed up their dreams and walked away. But not her. She forced herself to keep going. She forced herself to send that manuscript again and again, despite the rejection, despite the doubt, despite the fear. And one day, one yes changed everything. That's the power of persistence. That's the power of refusing to quit. Obstacles are inevitable, but defeat is optional. It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to feel small in the face of problems, in the face of failure. But remember this: growth lives on the other side of resistance. Every failure, every setback, every no is a lesson, a stepping stone, a chance to build resilience. You can crumble under it, or you can use it as fuel. Every time you stand back up, every time you take another step, you're telling yourself, I am stronger than this. I am not done. I've seen it in people's lives. A young athlete I knew was cut from his high school basketball team. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Most kids would have hung up their shoes, but he didn't. He practiced harder, longer every single day. A year later, he made the team, and eventually he earned a scholarship. It wasn't talent that carried him. It was his refusal to quit. It was his willingness to face obstacles head on, to be uncomfortable, to push through fear, failure, and disappointment. Life will knock you down, and it will knock you hard. But those who succeed don't avoid the hits. They get up after them. They keep moving forward step by step with determination and discipline. Every struggle becomes a story of triumph. Every no becomes a chapter in the journey to Oase. Obstacles are not there to stop you. They're there to test you, to shape you, to prove that you're willing to do what most people won't. So when life pushes you down, push back harder. Get up, take the next step, and keep going. That's how legends are made. That's how ordinary people become extraordinary. Consistency isn't a one-time act. It's not something you do once in a while and expect the world to bend in your favor. Consistency is a lifestyle. It's waking up every morning and making a decision. Today, I will not quit on myself. Today, I will do the work, no matter how tired I am, no matter how hard it feels, no matter how tempting it is to stay in bed or scroll my phone. You make it a habit. You schedule it. You guard it. You protect it like it's the most valuable thing you own, because in truth it is. Your future depends on it. The person you'll become, the life you'll build, the success you'll achieve, it all comes from these small, deliberate, consistent actions. Small habits repeated over time build an unshakable foundation. Eat right consistently. Move your body consistently. Study consistently. Work on your craft consistently. Read a little each day. Write a little each day. Make one call, take one step, finish one task, and do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. It doesn't feel like much in the moment. Nobody notices. You feel like you're crawling when others are sprinting. But let me tell you something: consistency compounds. Every small action, every repeated habit stacks up until one day the world notices. And when people ask, how did you do it? You smile and you say, I forced myself. I showed up. I didn't quit on myself. I've seen it in so many lives. A musician I know practiced just 20 minutes a day, every single day for years. 20 minutes. Most people would laugh, thinking that's nothing. But today, that musician is playing stadiums, not because of a lucky break, but because those small daily habits added up to something unstoppable. That's how consistency works. That's how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results. Consistency isn't just about work, though. It's about the mindset, the discipline, the refusal to let excuses run your life. Life will always throw distractions at you. Life will tempt you to quit. But when consistency becomes a habit, it becomes automatic. You don't need motivation. You don't need inspiration. You just do it. You show up. You take action. And over time, that habit becomes your identity. You're no longer someone who hopes to achieve. You're someone who achieves because you simply don't stop. So start today. Start small. Pick one habit, one action, one commitment, and repeat it every day. Protect it, guard it, make it sacred, because the life you dream of, the success you want, the legacy you'll leave, they're waiting for you on the other side of consistency. You force yourself, you show up, and over time, nobody can stop you. Nobody can outwork you. Nobody can outlast you. That's the power of making consistency a habit. So here's what I want you to do. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the perfect feeling. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Because guess what? That moment, it doesn't exist. That feeling, it's fleeting. Life isn't going to hand you the perfect opportunity on a silver platter. The world doesn't owe you anything. And if you wait for the right time, you'll wait forever. You've got to start now. Force yourself to move, to act, to be consistent. Write that page, make that call, train that muscle. Take that step, no matter how small, every day, one step. That's how empires are built. That's how lives are changed. That's how greatness is claimed. Think about it. Every great life you admire started with someone who refused to wait, someone who forced themselves to show up when it was hard, when it hurt, when nobody was watching. One paragraph a day, 1 mile at a time, one phone call, one meeting, one effort at a time. Those small acts repeated become unstoppable momentum. They build strength, skill, confidence, and character. And then one day the world takes notice. And that's the beautiful part. When it happens, it feels effortless. But you, and only you, know the work, the struggle, the discipline, the moments when you forced yourself forward, even when you didn't want to. Remember, life is going to knock you down. It's going to test you. It's going to challenge you in ways you can't predict. But every time you get back up, every time you take another step, every time you choose to act instead of giving in to doubt or fear, you are winning. You are building a foundation that no storm can shake. You are creating a life that isn't defined by circumstance, but by your decisions, by your resilience, by your consistency. That's power. That's freedom. That's the way to claim your greatness. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror tonight and make a promise. Promise that no matter how tired you are, no matter how impossible it feels, you will force yourself. You will show up. You will do the work one step at a time every day. You will create habits that serve you. Build momentum that cannot be stopped, and push through obstacles that try to hold you back. Because every single one of those moments is a choice, and every choice compounds. And one day, when you look back, you will realize something incredible. You didn't just survive, you conquered. You didn't just dream, you achieved. And it all began with one simple decision to be consistent. So start today. Take that first step. Do what others won't do. Show up when others quit. Force yourself to act. And remember, greatness isn't given. It's earned, one small, relentless, consistent step at a time. The world will notice. You will notice. And the life you've always imagined, it's waiting for you. All you have to do is show up.